Hi guys, this is Rick from Food4U Media, your digital and print marketing partner. I hope you guys are safe and your families are well. Today we have someone that has an app for Androids and iPhones that have been a big demand right now during this crisis. Food4U is a local third-party delivery service for restaurants. They have been operating here since 2017. They provide delivery service for over 100 restaurants in Laredo. Wow. Here with us today is Juan Ortiz, the marketing and operations manager, as well as co-founder of Food4U. Juan, can you hear me?
I sure can. Hear you loud and well.
Excellent, excellent. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Just getting some work finished just a few minutes ago and ready to go with this call. But, work calls, we got that done and we're ready to get another day done.
Excellent, man. Yeah, I'm sure you guys right now are slammed, especially, with everything that's going on. I'm sure you guys are slammed right now.
Yes, thankfully, we've been able to actually break some of our own records. One of our new drivers that he just started with us maybe like a month ago beat the daily record that we had for orders for one driver in one day. And just yesterday, we beat our own record of the amount of orders that we've done delivered in one day. So, yeah, you can see we're pretty busy.
Yeah, I bet. So Juan, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your background, how the idea came about, and more importantly, how does the app work?
Yeah, sure thing, of course. So in regards to me, I've always liked to share this because I've always said that the foundation of the job experience that I've had and my education at TAMIU really helped out and an important part is to get this startup company going, right, with Eli, ever since he approached me back in the summer of 2017. And I've worked in restaurants since 2010, worked at different restaurants, and I worked at different bars. So as far as the restaurant industry, I was very, very familiar with it. And as far as my education, I graduated from TAMIU here, of course, class of 2012, and my business administration degree with concentration in marketing really helped out as far as being able to help have Food4U have a good aspect and a good image along with the people. Also, what really played a big part as far as my background was that I spent almost 4 years with the corporate marketing department from IBC here, another local bank, which played out a big part of keeping a corporate image into what we are, which is only a local company. But a lot of people have told me that they thought we were from out of town and that we were coming in and going hard and getting it done, right? Trying to tackle the competition that is nationwide. But no, I mean, we just really played out a good image and try to get things as done with good quality as far as ads, as far as the app itself, as far as the marketing that we use, a little bit of everything, right? So everything has actually played a part into the development of the systems and operations of Food4U. Thankfully, everything worked in my favor as far as that goes.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of people have, I'm not going to say odd jobs, but different jobs, and they always feel that this is not the job for me. But in your case, all the jobs that you've had pretty much were a stepping stone to where you're at. Is that kind of correct? I mean, every job that you've had in the past, you took something from that and applied it to this new, this new job or company that you created. Is that correct? I mean, it's pretty much what you're saying, that, IBC helped out here and your bar experience helped out here. So you have some workings of how a restaurant works and their lingo. And so is that something that you could agree with? I mean, is there anything else that you may have left out?
You hit it right on the nail. It really has been a stepping stone as far as my experience goes. And right now, you're scrolling through one of the pictures in the website I saw on the screen, and you can see 3 people. One of them is, of course, Eliezer. He's the founder. He's the man with the idea, and he's the man that approached me. And it was funny because it all started just how many startups have started the same way, with a meeting at Starbucks.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how it happened. And Joe, the guy on the right side, he was the person who linked me up with Eli, and he said, you know what, I have this friend, he's really good with marketing, I think he can help you out. And that's how it started. I was just gonna help him out with his marketing, and he told me about the idea, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure I can help you out and make it happen. Eventually, it led to me. At the moment, I had two jobs, and it led me to quitting both jobs and going full time with Food4U, because it was just too big of a it wasn't an idea anymore. It was already something that we're doing, and we had to go full on. So everything worked out in that favor. So that's how it started, with a meeting at Starbucks, pitching the idea, and me believing in this idea that we can make it happen. And thankfully, almost 3 years later, where I want to say hopefully Laredo's favorite food delivery service, and growing every week. And I can really say that with all confidence, because right now, due to the situation that we're at, we're becoming a major asset, right? And a good tool for a lot of restaurants that need, at this moment, need anything that they can use to get some income.
Absolutely. And you actually alluded to the next question I was going to ask you, was like, obviously you guys are doing a really, really good job of running your operations and you know, making it, like you said earlier, looking at like an outside company, you know, and that goes a lot to talk about, like with your branding and your marketing. And that's pretty much another reason why I wanted to speak with you today, because of the awesome job your marketing and branding that Food4U has done. Obviously, with the current crisis, you guys are in a bigger demand than ever. But before that, you guys were pretty busy before that, you know, and right now it's just, you know, an extra, you know, peak that you guys are doing. How important do you think that your brand has been to your success? Yeah, if you want to add to that.
I think we've handled a very corporate image, and there's a lot of things that we wanted to do as far as local stuff, or things that your average local company would be able to manage and do. For example, giveaways or tickets or anything like that, or sometimes even remotes or anything like that. But we really wanted to keep that corporate image and say, you know what, not that we didn't want to be associated with it, we just have this image that I want to sustain, because I want people to have that trust that this company knows what they're doing. They're probably from somewhere else, and honestly, they give a good service. So what I really wanted to focus was on the service and keeping a good image. And unfortunately, I had to let go of some of the other ideas, and there was always ideas as far as marketing things that we could have done, but it was due to us keeping that image of, you know what, we're acting like a big company, when we're actually just another small town girl from Laredo type of student. So
yeah, but
we've been doing it big, and thankfully we're growing, like you said, more than ever. And right now we're at a point where, like I said earlier, hopefully we're Laredo's favorite delivery service, and especially right now, we've become hopefully a really good tool for everybody that's trying to stay home.
It is, and I know you guys have been, like I said, taking other like safety precautions for, like you mentioned right now. There's a lot of restaurants out there that are in need of this type of service, because you know, they only have one phone line, you know, and you only have so many cell phones you can use. You're going to need an extra method of, like you said, an extra revenue source of income, you know. And that channel in this case is yours. You know, there are some restaurants that have their own delivery service, I know, but even then they'll only need to be limited to the amount of people that they have, you know. So that extra person, extra channel like yourself is a perfect installation, I guess, for them. You know what I mean? It definitely helps. And yeah, I love the way you guys have been marketing. You know, I want to come back double back to that a little bit. You know, what I've seen, that what you mentioned earlier, like, you know, that company looks like it's from out of town. Unfortunately, the mentality here is like that. You know, that like, if it's too cheesy, you know, someone might go, oh, it's just another local person or whatever. But if the branding and the marketing looks really, really good, they have that same sense of confidence.
Security.
I guess,
Security.
Yeah, that confidence and security that say, you know what, you're right. This company does know what they're doing. Look at them. They're from out of town. They've probably been doing this for a long time. And honestly, it does really, really show. And, you know, I've used your app a couple times, and it really is really, really intuitive. And I love how there's photos with every item that I use other apps before when all these apps came out. I did want to mention to all the audience that I don't want to say against all odds, but yeah, against all odds, Food4U launched in September 2017, along with 2 or 3 other apps that launched around the same similar time. And I will tell the audience right now, if they don't know about it, most of those people are no longer in business because it's a really, really tough business to operate. You know, hats off to Food4U for being a visionary and taking the right steps to make sure that everything comes out correctly. You know, some of those other people tried it out, it just wasn't for them. You know, you can tell that they were kind of half in, not 100% in the way you guys are. And it definitely shows because you guys are pretty much one of the ones that are left standing. And again, it's a very, very good app. A lot of restaurants use it and customers as well. You know, so that's one thing that I thought was pretty neat. So it all starts with your logo, right? And I know I said your logo is everywhere. A good logo is super, super important. Like you said, it's pretty much your brand. You know, from there, you can see it on your shirts, your magnets, your videos, your apps. I mean, all your social media stuff. And now anytime you see that number 4, it's, you know, automatically associated for Food4U. You know, is that kind of, I'm assuming since you're a marketing major, that was the plan all along, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we wanted to make sure that just how whenever you see the little chick from Chick-fil-A, just whenever you see the yellow ticket from Best Buy or the apple from Applebee's, you associate, right, a logo with a brand. And that's what we try to accomplish. Even colors, we wanted to make sure the colors are important on this. The yellow, it stands out. Every company, as far as competition, has their own color, right? There's others with red, there's others with green, there's others with blue, with black. But our yellow really stands out whenever you put it against the other ones, and it really contrasts well with the black. And I think we've been able now to successfully have managed to build the brand and have people associated that way. They see the 4, they know it's Food4U. Now they know it's a food delivery. And I'm sure there's still a lot of people that don't know about it, but now, especially in times like these, they're finding out that there's services available through apps that can definitely help them out, not leave their home and stay home and still get their food, right? I mean, I've always said that any person is our customer because you're not going to fool me. Everybody gets hungry. So it's not like I have a target market that I can say, you know what, well, only women or only men or only women this age, or
Yeah,
everybody gets hungry. Yeah, everybody's hungry. So if you're hungry, stuck at work, or if you're at home and can't leave because either you have the car at the shop or you got to leave the kids at work or whatever it is, we're there to help out the different situations. It was a really fun and really nice experience that there was this lady that would order a lot, and she would order from restaurants that were very close to her. So we always question like why she wouldn't just go get it. I mean, it's super close. And the reason is that one of those times, it was one of our drivers that is closer to us. We have a closer relationship. He shares that whenever he went to the door, when she opened up the door, she was actually in a wheelchair, and she would order from her iPad. So she couldn't physically go out and buy herself something to eat. I'm guessing whoever lived with her would, you know, do her the favor, or anybody else that she knew would. So whenever we started with the app, and she started back in like 2 years ago ordering, that was just a story, right? That we didn't even think about that market, but we've helped people that aren't capable of leaving their homes for whatever reason might be, still get their food.
That's absolutely correct, and you're right. I mean, that's something I didn't think about it either. I guess we're blessed that we're not, I guess, in that position, but there are people like that are out there that again use this service, and that's awesome. You know, they get to try out different things without having to. I'm not sure what the proper word is, but they get to try out different things. I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's ordered from a lot of places where she's already run out of places to try.
Excellent. And right now on your I'm looking at your website right here, and I just kind of want people for the people that don't know who you are and haven't heard of you and not sure how it works. For me as a client, as a customer, you know, want to guide me through that process of how simple it is. I mean, it is really simple, but in case of people that don't know, would you care to explain that to us?
Yes, of course. It's fairly easy. I'm not gonna lie. If people are familiar with the other rideshare apps like Lyft and Uber, it works basically the same, but for food, right? So it starts with making your login. And one thing that we wanted to establish at the very beginning, I remember when we were at Starbucks. What was it? We're at the Starbucks at Target at that time. We would switch around Starbucks, and I remember that we always said that the easy login was just using Facebook. That we wanted to make sure that the easier it is, the people were more likely gonna use it, because I mean it goes a long way as far as being user friendly, right? So one of the things was that you can log in with Facebook, and or if you wanted to do your account with email because you don't have Facebook, then of course either way works. So that's how it all starts, right? You of course download the app, and fun fact, the app at the very beginning was just available for iOS for a couple of months.
I remember that.
And yeah, and we had to wait for the Android version, and then the Android version came out, and finally we were able to say that we're available to everybody, right? To all smartphone users. So like any company, we had to grow at our pace, and that's one thing that we have been doing. We still, the app does not look like it did back then, where we work on every week on updates and things we can better. Then going back to the ordering process, the next step would be, of course, put in the location where you want to get your food delivered. Once you put in your location, that'll upload a list of restaurants that are available to you, depending on what area of the city you're at. Once you've chosen the restaurant of your choice, like you said, you select from the menu. That one thing about being local is that we're able to handle the relationship between restaurants more one-on-one, right? Versus a national company that just cares about your menu and puts it in, and that's it. So one thing that we took advantage is that the menu, most of the menus have a lot of pictures. And of course, one thing that is going to catch your eye and it's going to want to make you order even more and more is the pictures. So a menu that is full of pictures is going to be more attractive to the customer. Hopefully, creating a bigger tab and a bigger order, and everybody wins. So that was one thing that we were big on. Once they've selected their food, all they have to do is input their payment method. And once they've input their payment method, they just confirm all the information, which is the amount that they're purchasing, the address that they're sending their food to, and the payment method. Once they've confirmed, all they have to do is just wait wherever they're at. Either it's at the office, whether it's at home, at their apartment, and they're going to be getting notifications every step of the way in regards to the order. Whenever the driver accepts their order, they'll get a notification. Whenever the driver has the food already at the restaurant, they'll get a notification. When the driver is en route towards their destination, they get a notification. And whenever the driver has arrived, they also get the notification. The last one is just saying that their food has been delivered, and hopefully they like the service and they gave us a rating back in the app. So the app is going to let you know about the status of the order at every step of the way, and you get notifications to alert you how your order is going. Of course, you're able to contact the driver for whatever reason may be. The app, you can actually track the driver whenever they're leaving the restaurant. You can track the driver as they're heading towards your destination. So we thought that was something cool, something interactive, because if we keep them entertained, before they know it, their food has arrived, and they didn't even feel like if it was, so-and-so time.
It's true. It's very true. I remember the first time I ordered from you guys, I was not expecting that. And you're absolutely right. You're constantly getting updates from you guys as far as where your order is at. I remember the first time we ordered, I remember getting that text, and I was like, okay, your driver picked it up. And I was like, cool. And then all of a sudden your driver's on his way. And I was like, okay, cool. And then your driver's outside.
More excited, right?
Yeah, I was just like, hey, that's kind of cool. And you're right. It made that time, which wasn't long, by the way, but it made that time go even faster. Right away I was like, okay, you're ready with your shoes on to go open the door and get your food, right? So or pajamas, whatever you're gonna put on. But yeah, I mean that's something that is very important, and I think it helps everyone, like I said, keep engaged. That's very important.
Yeah, it's part of the experience. It definitely is. Once the driver has arrived, then they have their 10, 15 seconds of sharing their customer service with the customer, and that's how they earn their tips. Make sure that the food is all correct. Give them a friendly smile. Wish them that they enjoy the food. Make sure that they received everything. Right now, of course, needless to say, we have that contactless delivery, which is something that we're pushing. Another thing that we've been pushing right now is taking precautions. For example, like using gloves that we got for all of our drivers that they can pick up at our office on a daily basis. Or we also got them face masks, which are also branded.
Yeah, they
So
have to be. Yeah, that's awesome.
we got those custom made, and we got some black ones with yellow strings, and then yellow ones with black strings. So even whenever you don't see a driver because they're wearing a hoodie and they're wearing the yellow or the black face mask, then you know it's a Food for You driver, right? So it
That,
goes back to the branding.
it is, and that is awesome. I mean, that's an extra nice little touch that I personally would not have thought of. That I mean, that's really cool. That goes to show how much care and thought you guys put into your brand. Just having your own mask there, and not just a shirt, but also the mask as well. And especially right now that safety is very important, for your staff and for the public. How is that going, by the way? I know you guys already mentioned that you guys are already taking those precautions. Is there anything else that you guys are doing, or had any issues with that as far as anything that would make the process go easier for you guys during these times?
Another thing that we are doing, we at our office, we have Germix antibacterial.
Okay.
So we have that available in large quantities for our drivers, so that way they can go refill their little bottles and make sure that they always have on them and with them. So whenever they go pick up gloves, they can go refill their Germix and whatnot. So that way, again, whatever we can do to make sure that they're having the most precautions as possible, we're gonna try to do whatever is in our hands. We take care of our drivers, because without them, we wouldn't be able to give our customers the great service that we do. And one of the things, as far as things that have gotten a little hard on us these a couple of weeks, has just been the restaurants, keeping up with the restaurant schedule. Because the restaurant, and I totally understand, trust me, like, we don't even get mad. We're just having to cancel the order with the customer because the restaurant closed early because they didn't have that many sales. So little things like that we're having trouble with, but we've been able to finally on Mondays, hey, let's start calling everybody. Okay, let's call everybody's schedules and whatnot. And we made the schedules in the app available for the restaurants to edit themselves. But sometimes they don't. But don't worry, like, we'll take care of it, because at the end of the day, the orders go through us, so we got to take care of it ourselves. So that's just one of the things that we've been having a little bit of trouble with in regards to that.
No, you're right, and understandably so. Again, everything is changing. I know a couple weeks ago, everything was changing hour by hour, and restaurants were pretty much like, I know because we have a couple of clients that we manage their social media accounts. And in the morning, it was like, yes, let's go ahead and 100%, let's do this. We're going to do delivery. And then when they saw that, something changed or an ordinance changed, or all of a sudden, things were a little harder or wasn't as great as they expected, all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're only offering these items. And then you have to go back and correct that. And then it's like, okay, no more delivery. And now you're doing this. And so I remember earlier on when everything was starting to roll out, and, having to make those hour by hour changes, and I can see how that would affect you guys when you guys are thinking they're open, and then someone places an order. But yeah, you're right. It's super important to have that communication, and I think everyone's been a little struggling with that.
No. And we, like I said, we totally understand that there's a lot of things you're worrying about, and that might be the last thing on your mind. But that's why we're there also to help. We're there to ask, and we'll take the initiative and start doing that. But one thing that we also had to do, it even affected our schedule, because we spoke to the local government here, and they said that we're okay as far as driving at those hours, like after 10, after they pass the curfew.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, we figured out that once we looked at everybody's schedule, as far as like the restaurants are concerned, not a lot were available after 10. So why were we even gonna stay open if only Whataburger was open?
Wow.
So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. So we ended up switching it up, and I told Eli, I remember having this conversation a couple of days ago, and I was like, okay, so we already switched it to closing at 10, but what if we change it to opening at 10 in the morning instead of 11? And we started thinking, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, why not? Because there's nothing about that's stopping us from starting earlier. Even at that, like we were limiting ourselves in that matter, but right now that we are able to do it, let's do it. So right now we switched our own hours of operation to 10, from 10 to 10. So that's also something that has that we've had to change in the past couple of days.
And that's awesome. I mean, that goes to show, like, again, how much effort and thought you guys are putting into this. It's not just trying to make money. It's seeing how you can solve those problems and make it easier for yourself, your staff, and of course your customers as well. You know, that's amazing that you guys are you know, taking those extra steps to fit everyone's schedule, because again, everything is changing so fast right now. You know, one day it's this, the next day it's something else. You know, that you guys have to do. So that's great.
Definitely.
And if any, again, so we already know how it worked. So how it works, excuse me. So the next question is, if any restaurant out there wants to join, you know, what's the process, or how can they get a hold of you? How does that look? And I guess more importantly, one question I know they're going to want to ask is, how fast can you have it up and running?
So to answer those questions, one of the ways that they can get hold of us is through our email, which is info@myfood4u.com. That's the one right there on the screen, info@myfood4u.com. They can always reach out by calling us through our 1-800 number. That's another thing that we did to look extra professional, creating a 1-800 number versus a local. That gave us a lot of rep in the image. So any of those ways, they can go ahead and contact us, or by all means, they can send me an email, which is, my email is juan.ortiz@myfood4u.com. Or if they want to reach me through my work phone, of course, I'm always all ears, which is 956-652-2402. I can either get a text or receive a call. I always have to receive a call because I never know who it's coming from. It's probably from a restaurant, so I usually answer my calls. And if I don't, I call you right back. So I'm always available, and that's one of the things where whenever they ask me, hey, well, are you working right now? I'm like,
always.
bro, I'm always working.
Yeah, always. Yeah, I get those.
You have to.
Yeah, I get those phone calls all the time, even on a Sunday or Saturday, and like, are you working? I'm like, always. What's going on? How can I help you? Maybe not at the office, but I'm always working. That's just the life of an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, that's the way it goes when you're running a startup. And then to answer the last question, for the most part, we can have a restaurant up and running anywhere from 3 to 4 days, depending on the length of the menu. But it's fairly easy, and we work with all sorts of restaurants and all sorts of locations as far as the way they want to work with us. I mean, that's another advantage that we have of being local, that we can come into an agreement as far as how we want to work with them.
That's good. Yeah, you guys are flexible. That's awesome. And
we'll work with everybody.
Something that I'm sure would help out your audience, and I'm sure you're alluding to it, but I'll go ahead and touch on it if you don't mind, is I guess I'm assuming that right now, because time is of the essence, and if somebody wants to put it up, and the restaurant wants to put up the restaurant up and running, I would, I guess, encourage them to start with a smaller, limited menu first, and then slowly roll out the ones that are going to go, I guess, later on when everything's, slows down a little bit. Is that the case? The smaller the menu, the better it is for you guys to kind of launch things faster? Yes,
it definitely will help things go faster. And we've done it with restaurants that we already have. They told us, you know what, I'm not gonna have this for the next couple of weeks because my vendors are not bringing in these items. So you know what, just put these top sellers, and if that's what sells, then that's what you're gonna have, and that's what we're gonna sell for you.
Yeah,
So
we have seen the current trend. Again, we have a lot of restaurant clients. We share a lot of mutual clients that we do a lot of printing and some design work for. And we've talked to them, and yeah, everyone's pretty much going into a very smaller, limited menu because of what's going on, and also larger family orders, so that it makes sense. There are still people out there that will not order one dish, but they might order, a parrillada or something like that for the whole family, that they can still treat themselves.
parrilladas have probably been our number one seller these past 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie. You hit it
Wow,
right on the money. You hit it right on the money.
that's
Parrilladas have been our one top seller.
yeah. I mean, I can imagine. I mean, there's very limited supplies. Nobody wants to. I know Laredo is a very big on grilling. Carne asada is huge. You
Huge,
know,
huge.
it
That
is.
big, huge.
and because of what's going on, there's a lot less of them, I would imagine. But at least right now, earlier on, I did see a lot of people posting, and I was like, wow, people are still cooking out for themselves, but still. But yeah, now they have that other option of not having to cook and order through you guys, through one of your various restaurants that you guys have on your app. That's awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned also the family orders. That's a very important thing for the restaurants to, for those who haven't, to be able to establish something like that, whether it's a family pack or whether it's an office pack, something that can get bundled up and that the office, everybody can benefit out of just one delivery. By all means, I mean, anything that works for the restaurants, we're gonna accommodate it. We're gonna put it in their menu. Or some of the restaurants were also inputting their. Actually, we got a call from one of the customers that wanted a bottle of mimosa with their brunch order. So now that the state has allowed that, now we can also do that too. We're just kind of, okay, who actually does have alcohol that they can sell for delivery or for pickup, and who doesn't. So we're still transitioning towards that, because there's a lot of things that are changing along with that, with the things that are going on.
Yeah,
One of them being that the TABC is not flexible at all. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the restaurants know that, and
yeah.
they bent their arm and they said, all right, you know what? If y'all can sell whatever you have, because as long as they keep on selling, they're gonna stay alive. If not, we don't. Of course, nobody wants any business to shut down.
Yeah, no, and that's true. I mean that is, who would have thought 2-3 months ago you have a margarita to go, that, and that's awesome. A margarita, a beer, whatever your poison is, but that is just really, really cool that the public can go out there and order alcoholic drinks, especially right now. You need something to take the edge off. So that's really
Who's not
neat.
gonna want some wings with a beer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, plus it puts up those ticket sales as well. It's a win-win for everybody.
It
Those ticket
sure is.
sales go up, and your customer is happy, nice and full and content, right, with a nice beer and some wings. That's really cool.
For the restaurant, it also keeps their inventory moving, because if not, it's just gonna stay there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. You're right. It is important to put that out there. I know I've reached out to several restaurants, and that's one of the biggest concerns that was early on. And of course, having that limited menu helps with that aspect, having to turn those things out there. Sorry, your inventory. That's really important to keep rotating it, not so still. Very cool, man. Well, again, thank you, Juan, for spending some time to talk with us and letting us know more about your business, how it works. And not only that, but also how you guys have marketed and branding yourselves. I earlier talked about, your little small company, a little startup. I know you guys consider it that way. We're always our worst critics, but honestly, from the outside looking in, you guys have done a phenomenal job of pushing that brand, and not, let me rephrase that, of elevating that brand into making it look something more than just local, or more like, I hate to say it like this, but more than just Laredo. It definitely is a brand that can definitely, go forward and without making it look cheap. And you guys have done a really, really good, excellent job of that. So hats off for
We,
that, man.
we thank you. We've had a great team. We've had a great team that has helped with every single aspect, starting from, of course, Eli with the vision, and our help with the marketing team, the graphic designer, and our employees that have helped us out with making sure that all the restaurants have flyers, that everybody has a sticker, and coming up with ideas. Everybody hasn't been an essential part, and of course, needless to say, our drivers, that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be a success right now, and we wouldn't be where we're at. So it definitely has been a team effort, and everybody's put in their 2 cents, and we're killing it. We're hustling it every day.
That's awesome, man. Well, it was great talking to you. And again, keep hustling and stay safe out there.
Thank you so much, Rick. Likewise, and everybody, all the restaurants that hopefully have were able to, that this was helpful for them. If they, of course, we welcome them to reach out to us if they want that extra channel of income, and if there's anything else that we can help them, we're all ears. And great things coming, man. This is awesome.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.